Hello guys, it's been a while. They've released finally the DLC, the free DLC for Resident Evil Requiem, the free mini game that we were all expecting. Some more, some less. But I just thought it was one of the biggest flaws the game had, the fact that there was no extra content other than the story mode for more than 1 month. It actually took them 2 months to release this mini game, which, like I said, it's free, so I'm not gonna go too hard on it. And it's also 95%, to be generous, is recycled content from the main game. They added, I think they added a couple new weapons, like the Matilda, which is interesting because the Matilda was not in the main game. Usually, that's a weapon that's in the game from the start. But no, there was no Matilda before this DLC, as far as I remember. And there's that. Also, I think they added another single weapon, which I don't remember what it is. But yeah, nothing much. It's not mercenary. It doesn't play like mercenaries. It's actually called Leon Must Die Forever, something like that. So we have come for circle from Devil May Cry, which was supposed to be Resident Evil 4, a Leon game, which had Dante Must Die. From starting from Devil May Cry 1, we had Dante Must Die, and now we have Leon Must Die. So the game is fun. It doesn't play like Mercenaries, which I don't think it should have been, because honestly, Mercenaries at this point, it's always the same thing. Now, I'm not gonna complain if they add Mercenaries in this game, but I just don't see them adding it because there's not enough characters. Like, where are they gonna put it in? Grace and Leon? Yeah, it's not enough. I mean, granted, you can say they've put in Mercenaries in Resident Evil 8, and that was just Ethan. I don't know if you will play as Chris as well in Mercenaries Resident Evil 8, but yeah, it was mostly Ethan, let's say. And in this one, yeah, it's Leon that goes through curated portions from the main game, and of course you have to kill enemies, and you can choose your path. There's different doors you can enter in the level, and they can transport you to different levels, different boss fights. Depending on the path you choose, you're gonna fight different scenarios, different boss fights, but all from the main game. So it's not there's no original content so far, as far as I've seen. So in that sense, don't expect too much. Like I said, it's a free DLC, so you can't really expect too much from it. Uh, well, but in my opinion, this just shows how far behind they were with development in this game, because it took them 2 months to release content that has been taken pretty much from the main game, and nothing much has been altered. They just scrambled a little bit things up. This is the classic DLC that when software houses make when they don't know what the fuck they they can do to increase the playtime. So they just say, okay, let's do this a free DLC with 99% recycled content from the main game. And I would say this is its biggest flaw, because the DLC, like the mini game, feels fun to play. Like if you enjoy the the Resident Evil 9 Leon gameplay, yeah, it's gonna be really fun for you, because it's pure combat. There are some variables, like for example, you can unlock power ups. The more enemies you kill, the more points you unlock, and you can choose which power ups to unlock for Leon, and it's the usual stuff, like increased damage for shotguns, and X increased damage for that weapon, extra like health, extra armor, faster reticle closing speed, so you can shoot more precisely, faster. It's all that kind of stuff, you know. At this point, it's the usual. So, like, there's not really much else to say. I think this game really needed it badly, and I'm surprised it took them 2 months to release something so simple. But I mean, in the end, they did it, so props to them. But that just shows how bare bones this game was, but it still is, because honestly, there's not much. Yeah, they're going to make an extra story DLC, which we don't really know much of anything about right now. I'm probably gonna make a more in-depth video saying what I would like to see in the DLC. But so far, I don't really expect much because, for example, I don't think they will properly address all the plot points that are lacking in substance from the main story, which I have made an in detail video about, at least going by memory, because I've been following the story of Resident Evil from the beginning. So I'm not gonna say I'm an expert because there's a lot of stuff I don't know. But when it comes to the Raccoon City Umbrella stuff, I'm pretty well informed in that sense. Most of it I do remember from the old days. So, because I used to, when I first got the internet, one of the things I used to do a lot in the evenings before going to bed was just browsing internet and reading, going to Resident Evil websites and reading all the lore, actually rereading, like refreshing myself with all the lore, trying to pick up all the little details that weren't in the game or something maybe I missed, reading the files again, and the extra uh, lore content that was not in the games but was like extra, was either narrated outside the game, so stuff like comics, or just talked about the devs, or maybe extra content like the Wesker reports that were outside the game. It wasn't really in the game; it was outside the game. So the kind of lore content that is not included in the game. So in that sense, I do care about the story still. I just don't think they will make the DLC much justice, because the DLC is probably gonna have Chris. Now, I'm not gonna say what I would like to see. I'm gonna say right now what I think it will have. I think it will have Chris for the most part, and at most, you can expect maybe for it to have Ada. More likely Ada. I don't think Claire will be in the DLC. Will probably be Chris and Ada. Like 90% Chris, Ada. I would say the percentage, probability percentage that Ada is in DLC is probably 20%. Claire, I would say 10% probability she's in the DLC, so very unlikely. Because considering how they have treated her in the main game, which is pretty badly, like not even mentioned once. Not even mentioned once. You can say, well, Ada wasn't mentioned once either. Yes, but I mean, if you're talking Leon and Sherry, it doesn't make sense for Leon and Sherry to talk about Ada, but it makes much more sense for them to talk about Claire, which they didn't. So that's why I think Claire is not gonna be in the DLC. And yeah, I mean, I don't. I'll make a video saying what I would like to see, but I don't have much faith, because the development of this game has been a clusterfuck from the beginning. Honestly, they got pretty lucky with this game. They got pretty lucky, and they did a good marketing, which I think it's what saved this game. Because if this game didn't have um, hadn't had this kind of marketing, and also it didn't have Leon in it, it would have sold much worse. Like with worse marketing and no Leon in it, this game would have probably sold less, way less than what it did. And I think they were pretty surprised themselves by the reception to this game because it shattered the sales records as well. It sold 5 millions in 5 days. So yeah, it was pretty fast. And now it's sitting at 7 millions. I don't think it will become the most sold. It will probably stop around the top 5, top 4. But yeah, it will not become the most sold because it just doesn't have enough content. I think a lot of people will realize that this game was pretty overrated in a year, to say the least. They'll probably say, okay, no, this game was not a 9 out of 10, or a masterpiece, or a whatever. Because at this point, every game it comes out, every new game it comes out, it's the best thing ever. But it's clearly the hype talking, and not just how good the game really is, in my opinion. You see it everywhere. It's just the hype for the new thing. That's, oh, it's the best thing ever. And then 1 year later, I mean, it's okay, but it wasn't that good. Yeah, that's pretty much the playbook of the modern normie gamer. Mhm. So, and also it will be interesting to see who the villain is in the DLC. Because honestly, I don't know who's gonna be the villain in the DLC. There's a cliffhanger at the end. Um, with with the I think that those are probably connections mercenaries, but we don't know what they are talking about, who they are talking to. So yeah, we'll see. I guess I'll make a video probably on what I would like to see in the DLC. But other than that, you let me know your thoughts, guys. Your thoughts on the future DLC, this DLC if you played it, and I'll catch you soon. I would like to make more videos for sure. So catch you soon and bye bye. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. See you soon. Bye.